this season finale of In Their Shoes, we decided it was time to turn the tables and learn more about our host, Jamie Windust. Their interviewer today is Ben Hurst, a brilliant advocate and the head of facilitation and training at the Good Lad Initiative, which is an organisation that works to combat toxic masculinity around the UK. And together, Ben and Jamie discuss gender roles, the labels others put on us, and the steps that they've both taken to feel confident in their own skin. It's such an important conversation and I love them both, so please enjoy.
Action.
Hello and welcome to In Their Shoes.
That's my line.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did think I was in a different scene.
Yeah, I know, because it's actually my episode. Hello and welcome to In Their Shoes. This week, we're switching seats.
We are switching seats and I am on my bad side, first of all.
Oh.
Second of all, I'm joined by the living legend, bucket hat wearing, chain adorned Ben Hurst. And Ben is interviewing me today.
I have
What have you got?
my list of questions.
Your post-its?
Yes, my post-its. My first question, is Jamie Windust
This is stressful.
your government name?
What a question! Yeah. Why?
Is it actually? Is that your real surname?
Everyone always says this. Yeah.
It's not.
It is genuinely my surname. I can show you my ID.
Wow. Well, I feel like you had no choice then but to be iconic.
Well, my big claim to fame is that I was born so premature
Oh.
that I nearly died.
So premature.
That I nearly died, and my original day that I was supposed to be born was the day that Princess Diana died.
Oh no.
So I don't like to say that I'm her reincarnation.
But
if the cards are laid out,
I think the facts speak for themselves.
if the
Do you know what
facts
I
are
mean?
there.
Yeah. So you are model, writer, activist, speaker,
Yeah,
upcoming author,
true.
and is that it? Is that all you are? Tell me the other
That's
things
all
you are.
it.
No.
Now
there's
host,
more. Yeah,
apparently.
host. Well, presenter.
Clang.
Thank you very much. What was it like to be a young Jamie Windust? That's your government name. I can't get over it.
It was obviously iconic, but
Obviously.
it was interesting because when I wrote the book and thinking back on it, it's almost like I don't remember any of it because that person is so different to who I am now. Like,
Right.
if you on paper, if you were to read about me from then in like reports or like school stuff,
Yeah.
like I was always the one that was like doesn't say a word.
Yeah, that's not like you at all. That's very far from who
Like
you are.
super shy, would never take my tie down.
Yeah.
Blazer always done up.
Very proper.
Very proper.
Yeah.
Very
prim.
shy. Didn't say a word.
Really?
Sat at the back.
What changed for you?
Fashion helped me
Mm-hmm.
and to be able to find a voice that I couldn't verbalise. Good cutaway. It wasn't like overtly traumatic, but it was just like a constant kind of isolation
Yeah.
because of queerness or because of femininity or just a constant kind of othering, I think, had its impact.
Because you mentioned queerness, so I'm interested to know, like, at what point did you know? And I always think that that's a weird question. I really try hard to not ask you.
No, it's a valid question.
Because I sometimes think, would anybody ask me when I knew that I was cis or straight or whatever? But then I also do have like very clear markers. Like when I was like 13, I remember like I didn't really fancy girls. Like, and everybody was like, Jennifer Lopez. And I was like, don't get it. Beyblades, let it rip.
But
So I didn't, like I was playing with Yu-Gi-Oh cards and toys in school and stuff in year 9. When was the moment for you that you knew who you were?
that moment was very much taken from me, from my peers. So
Right.
I was kind of constantly labelled as gay or as queer or as feminine without fully realising any of that
Yeah.
first. It definitely was quite young. It was kind of like around 11, 12, Edward Cullen, Twilight vibes.
Yeah.
Like I was just becoming like infatuated with men.
Yeah.
Still am.
Ooh la la.
To this very day.
I never was like, I need to stop fancying Robert Pattinson. I was like, I just need to find other people that do.
Yeah. Find your tribe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Maybe you wouldn't want to say anything, but if you could say anything now, as your adult self, to those younger versions of those people, what would it be?
Kindness goes a long way. If men were kinder and listened more from a younger age to people that weren't just other men, it would be a lot easier now for people to socially interact.
Be kind and listen. That's beautiful advice. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like every 13-year-old boy needs to hear that. Like, be kind, listen. Like,
put down the links, Africa.
Yeah, you don't need to know more of that, please. It's disgusting. It doesn't smell as nice as you think it does. So tell me about your relationship with fashion. Obviously, you're like fashionista. What's a non-binary king or queen? What do you call them? Oligarch. Fashionista oligarch of the world. We do
now.
Yeah, that's the term. That's the term, everyone.
Do you know what? Fashion is, for me, has always just been a bloody laugh.
Really?
Like, I'm literally dressed as a fish tank.
You are. On this occasion, yeah.
Or as one of those clear toilet seats with the fish in.
Why does it look more like the clear toilet sheet than the...
It does. This is why it makes me laugh when people have such an issue with it, because I'm permanently taking the piss.
Yeah.
Like, look at what I've worn in the past 2 years, or in the series, or whenever.
Are you taking the piss? I thought that you were being really serious.
What, this?
Yeah. Is this a... No, this is satire. I don't know. I didn't ask the question. I told you I was going to ask you everything I wanted to know.
Fashion for me is very much satire.
Right.
But it's also political. Because of my body and my presence, it becomes political. Like I say, like when I was younger, I would always be like, why can I not wear these dresses that the cast of EastEnders are wearing to the TV Choice Awards?
Yeah.
I want to wear them.
I like them.
And then I just realised that I could. And once that floodgate opened, I just didn't really stop. And I enjoy that kind of carelessness with it.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult. In the past year or so, like, that's completely flipped. I used to be very, like, publicly ostentatious.
Yeah.
Whereas now I would not wear this out.
Why?
Because it's just too much ag.
From the outside world?
Yeah, it's just far too much for one person to process, because it is violence, essentially, when people are staring at you or, you know, talking about you, laughing or taking pictures. Like, that would happen literally like every day.
Yeah.
Just going into town or just going to work, and it's like it almost kind of crushed that joy.
Yeah.
You can send a passing comment my way, I'll catch it, but I don't need people to, like, physically, because people would just, like, physically, like, be like, oh my God. And I'm just like, I just got sick, and then I got sick of feeling angry all the time, because I was like, I can't just go and fucking get milk and on the way feel really angry.
Yeah.
So I just, for 3 months last year, I was like, I'm just gonna take everything off and see what happens.
How did that feel for you?
It was a catch-22, because I felt safer.
Yeah.
I could breeze through the world more easily, but there was also a part of me that didn't feel as me, like I wasn't being myself. But now, kind of from this year, and especially over 2020, like where we've been inside and we've actually not had to, in a way, perform our gender as much as we often would in lots of different social situations. We've not had to code switch into lots of social dynamics that we normally would have to. So it kind of left a lot of people, including myself, as with just being able to sit there and actually be like, okay, well, like, what do you want from life? What do you want from how you look? How do you feel? How do you feel most comfortable? And I got into a point where I was like, actually, I'm just really now very content with just looking however I look on whatever day, but still feeling the same person.
So when you were growing up, people misgendered you as a boy? How did that play out for you, like, through your teenage years into adulthood now?
In kind of relation to how a lot of people feel masculinity, is that it was very constricting still. For about 18 years, I kind of lived within the confines of masculinity, because I didn't know anything else. I hadn't broadened my mind and my kind of knowledge on gender. What that does or did for me is kind of added a layer of shame to what I was doing, because I didn't know any option other than either masculinity or femininity if you were male or female.
Mm-hmm.
So because I was kind of doing both and neither, it kind of felt like I wasn't allowed. I felt like I was doing something wrong.
Yeah.
But I still did it because it was good for me. It was only until I kind of found the language around it and the knowledge around gender that I actually realised that I could essentially let go of that confine of masculinity and be like, well, it was never adorned on me anyway.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was because I didn't know there were other options. Now masculinity is more almost ironic for me. So like in terms of fashion, I don't have a bad relationship with masculinity now. It's just, I've just made it my own.
So in terms of your masculinity now, is that the right way to talk about it? Would you say it's your masculinity?
Exactly, it's just my redefined version. I think that a lot of people presume that if you're non-binary, you do not align with femininity or masculinity, but you know, those are expressions of gender. It's my version, so I don't have an aversion to feeling masculine or feeling feminine because it's coming from a non-binary body. So it's different. It hits different.
It slaps different.
It's
different. It's just a different thing. Leads me very nicely to my next question. The things that are hard for you to deal with are not necessarily things that you've put upon yourself. As somebody who would like to consider themselves an ally, but probably doesn't always get it right, I don't know if you have on a personal level, any advice on how I could help you, because I feel like that's deeply unfair. Do you know what I mean? If it's that this isn't your issue or your fault or your problem to deal with, then that means it's my problem to deal with, right? Which is important for me to know.
It comes from a place of what does that person want to do in that moment? If I feel comfortable sitting down with you and I have the emotional capacity and space to be able to explain it to you, you know, if I tell you a story of something that's happened or a situation where I've not been able to access services or XYZ, it can create a picture. And if I have the space to do that, I'm happy to do that. But I think what is important in what you've asked is to know that it should start from not you, but kind of like non-trans people. It should come from a place of intention first, rather than just having this question come up and being like, oh, I'm going to ask that trans person I follow on Instagram, or I'm going to
slide into their DMs.
Yeah, we produce enough free content.
Yeah.
It's privileged to not have to do the work.
Right.
So if you do the work and you still have questions, that's fine. But understand that marginalised bodies aren't always resources.
You have to live in a beach hut for the rest of your life or a cabin in the woods.
Beach hut.
Really?
Ice cream.
Okay. Mermaid or Minotaur? I'm a wizard. I'm going to change you into one or the other. Which one?
Mermaid, because I'm basically that.
I give you that. You have to talk your thoughts out loud. So everything you think, you say out loud, or everything you choose to say, you have to sing.
Singing, because I think far too much about men.
Do you think really bad stuff?
Really awful stuff.
All right, 12 hours left before the world ends. What are you doing? Okay, good. What is the worst smell in the world?
Patriarchy.
I'm a wizard again.
Knew it.
You have feet for hands or hands for feet?
I'm a dirty bitch, so I'd love some feet for hands.
Oh, what the... Oh. I'm interested to know, what the world that you would like to live in would look like. But, do you have a vision or an idea of, the world that you will be living in 20, 30, 40 years if all of this works?
Just a world where there is less agitation from people that are just having a laugh or having fun. Less constant kind of questioning from people that don't understand. I think to exist in a space where people can just breathe, essentially. So I'd want a world that is relaxing, a world where people can think what they want to think and they don't have to bring it to my door, and where trans people can just exist and have fun and have careers and do what they should be doing, rather than having to endure a world now that kind of caps them at a certain point, and lots of fissures.
Yeah.
Lots of views.
Oh, and lots of views.
Go on.
Oh, go on then. Go on then.
Go on.
I'll take it, fun.